but really it ain't nothing compared to a student loan. And the time and the peace, and you know, man, I've been living kind of wildly for the last more than 10 years, living like I want to live, kind of. I mean, and taking the consequence, of course. Yeah, I could just, man, I have waken up. I woke up. I have for most of my life. For nah, I wouldn't. Yeah, but what am I trying to say? I'm trying to share a personal bit of information about the way I prioritize time and effort. And I got this sneaky little feeling in the back of my mind that if I told anyone, they would be like, man, I'm just a lazy scumbag or something, Whatever I was doing, It's like, ain't got no money, you know? And, no great success, notoriety, anything like that, no? But man, the peace I got. Think about this. For pretty much the first 15, 20, 30, maybe like 30, 30 plus years, I was a slave to waking up when someone else wanted me to be on time to their establishment to carry out their work for a value less than what it will create, so that it generates a profit, and they could take that and they can make some money, of course distributing it all across all of their expenses so that there's no business tax. There's going to be some business tax, but you can finagle it so that all that money's going to IRAs, SEP IRAs. I got a SEP IRA. I don't even know how to work with it or anything. I got like a profit sharing. And yeah, I'll have to go through some of my storage items. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to get through that. I paid the storage. It's like $300. $300 for shit I don't even use. I don't know. I don't need any vice. Something's gonna give, and I'm gonna get it. Whatever it is, and I know it's not gonna be something good, Man, I just seen some guy. He had a video, and he was like, they paid $80,000 to maintain this storage unit, and he had just bought it in an auction, and he was gonna unbox it. So I'm not into 80,000, but man, I done paid for that. I mean, I rationalize it as like, those are my home items, and so now those items are stored, and I kind of categorize it as rent. So my car, my van, and my storage together would be about $700-800, and I'm like, man, that's cheap rent actually. I have not personally. I have not paid rent since somewhere around in like 2013. It was December. It had to be. I had paid because I had like the loft in this big Victorian house, and it was hot as hell up there. And really, that house I moved in, brought all my stuff there, all of it. Everything I owned was at this house. And as soon as I got there, we got a 2-month, pretty much the week I got there, we got, shh, shh, must be a cat. We got a 2-month notice to vacate for home repairs. And it was basically, we need y'all to move out. We're gonna fix up the place. With period. And of course, after they fix it up and stuff, they're gonna raise the rent, and because there was no lease, I think they had just, like, the lease was up for renegotiation, and then the main girl, she was moving out. She couldn't afford it anymore because of medical conditions or something. Stop licking me. Stop. Why would a dog be licking me? No, don't do it. I'm trying to taste my eat. What are you exactly doing? You talking about? It's just weird. If they do be looking on you, you better wash it, because dogs are canines and they eat meat, and so meat actually is, prime real estate number one for parasites, and parasites are in the meat, and a lot of times it's because there's parasites flying around all over the motherfucker, in waters and stuff like that. They just need to be able to latch onto something, and if they just happen to get into it's weird. The hygiene for dogs, we don't really think about it a lot. I'll wash everything in the sink, but I notice it's like, if I'm gonna use a plate or a spoon or something, I want it to be clean, but that just doesn't really apply to the dog bowl. How many people clean out the dog bowl, or thoroughly clean out the water bowl, and so people get a little lazy in that stuff, and man, those are breeding grounds for all those non-beneficial, non-useful, I guess they're organisms, Some people would say entities. They're scary. I don't know. I've seen more than a few videos on parasites. I've seen enough pictures. And they're part of nature, but they come into the picture when the environmental conditions are just right. And it's up to us to make those conditions always wrong for these parasites. Because the nature of a parasite is they're living off of their host to the host's detriment, They ain't helping. They ain't pulling their weight, So, and they're tricky about it. They release these, chemical, hormone kind of exogenous, fake hormones, hormones that have you craving for certain flavors and textures and all kinds of stuff. Essentially, it's a way for the parasite to steer you to foods that are beneficial for it. Ow, damn. I just hit my knee on the ground, like, I'm just laying here. Oh, I'll teach you this trauma point. So right here, if you, oh, my hair's messed up. Gotta get this all covered up. Yeah, I look 40-ish. I had a brush out here somewhere, didn't I? Oh. Look at this brush from my last girl. And it's one of these ones that if you brush too hard, it's broken. So the freaking whole comb pillowy thing just busts out. But I realized it's actually a blessing because you get these tangles. You don't need to see all this. And it kind of teaches you to go just easy without breaking up a lot of hair. It's kind of unnecessary. Okay, there you go. So I can go from looking pretty crazy, homeless, and like, I don't know, unsavory, to I guess semi-decent. I haven't figured it out. With my girlfriend again. She got me into these hair ties. I still haven't figured out how to make my hair look good with the hair tie though. I think what girls use, which I have never used, but what girls use is this thing's called bobby pins. And I'll be damned. I'll be damned if I use a bobby pin. I seen a guy wearing bobby pins before. You know who you are. You know who you was. Yeah, no judgment. Okay, so yeah, we got this. $51.50. Oh, you know what that means. Has anyone made a diagnosis? Well, I hope it's good. I'm glad the medical establishment never got a hold of me. I dodged them. I was dodging them left and right. Anytime I could, I'd be like, I'll be right back. And I did not come back. Well, I was gonna take my stitches out myself, actually. But I started going over the implications of that, especially with me. I would have to get like a camera and like position it on my head, hook it up to a computer, and be able to look at the monitor screen. And then, oh man, that could get kind of difficult, especially if you don't have experience. And all I had to do was go to a nurse, actually cuts the sutures and removes them. So I ended up doing that. It didn't cost me anything. Of course, the hospital came after me, but I also referred him to my lawyer. So, good old Jim Rogers, the Attack of the Tomatoes guy from late night in the 80s. But I only talked to him once, and then it was this girl named Maple. She helped me out. I never seen her either. I didn't have to. Everything was over the phone. I did go and pick up my check got near damn 20 grand from a settlement in which I had to. The whole case is sealed, so I wouldn't be able to make any future complaint against this dude. I guess that's what a settlement's all about. So, but I had a bad experience at Highland Hospital. Yeah, I won't talk about it. They fucked me up. They pumped me up with so this was in 2004, and this is when CT scans were using barium as a developer dye, and they would put it right in your vein and they would flood your body with it. Barium. They don't do that no more, but they did it to me, and all of them doctors in there is like interns or fresh out of med school, you know, so they're practicing. They're starting their practice. It's a highly funded, state funded. Things change. It's been 2004, man. That was like 15 years ago. Anyways, he missed the vein, and all that barium went into my wrist. My wrist swole up to like 3 times this normal size. And it was painful. I refused any kind of pain meds or anything like that, but I think they gave me something in the ambulance to calm me down, because I was hysterical. I was like, I had just realized that I was in a car accident, and I was like, oh shit, I can't believe it, I just was in a car accident. That shit fucked me up too. And I just couldn't calm down. I just couldn't. See how I don't give a fuck about how the way I look? Oh, man. Hey, Vicky, look at Vicky. She's just right here. The back of her head and the neck, her ear. What did I say about getting on my mat? You're not supposed to be on your mat. Well, not your feet on my mat. No feet on the mat. Or your drippy mouth and nose region. Man, the weather's been so nice. I just leave my mat on the ground. I got all this crap out here. Oh man, I've been sitting in the sun. We're approaching about an hour. Maybe I could do my wallet fell out. I gotta do something about these receipts. Can't find me a good receipt program, and I ain't got no money to buy a good one. I mean, it probably would have saved me a lot to get hooked up on the Quickens and go the straight and narrow kind of thing. But man, you get behind on your paperwork. And then someone broke into my van and stole my backpack, and it had all my tax information in it and stuff, and oh man, that put me back, and never really recovered from all that. That was an auspicious year, 2016. No, my car got broken into 2 times in January of 2017. Man, they got my backpack the first time. The second time, they just ransacked the thing, maybe took some change and dumped all my little, useless belongings in the bushes, and I was able to recover. Oh, had my Tibetan symbols. They had left those behind. Those are my I mean, I just bought it at this little place in Alameda, Nisabola. That means I love you in like Fijian or something. But oh, and interestingly, on those symbols are the 8 auspicious symbols. You know, like the infinity knot, and there's like this umbrella, and there's like a conch shell, and there's like a sphere, lightning bolt, or something like that. There's 8 of them. I guess of Hindu origin. They make the coolest sound too. So that's some sound technology I was into for healing. And sleep time? Yeah, it's after 1 a.m. Oh, about 5 seconds to 1 hour. I think we'll call it quits. Man, I really should get this edited and like so that I could watch it and be like, do I want to publish? Because right now I'm just making content. I got nothing else to do. And yeah, I could waste my life being addicted to social media and watching other people's content and not really even growing, not even. But I'm tapped into some really, really sharp dudes. I mean, this Juan Lennon dude broke it down, and he was like sitting at a Starbucks, and he's got some awareness that he's been carrying around before he even knew it. He just kind of had the essence of it, and it's developed into where he can now articulate it and he blew my mind with it. I was like, man, this dude knows what he's talking about, and he even coined it he uh, he coined a term that makes so much sense, and he was so coherent that it rounded all the way through his conversation back to that word. It was like he did some foreshadowing or something. I don't know if he did it knowingly or not, but I know he started off with the Jamaican accent. That was pretty awesome. I was like, man, this dude's Jamaican? And I had already heard his real voice, and I was like, maybe this dude is Jamaican. Like, he came to the States and learned proper English and shit. So I uploaded maybe 3 videos. So when I do an hour video, it cuts it up into segments. I don't know. I think it has something to do with how it's stored on the SD drive. So, and I mean, you could probably take 4 hours of material and then create like, I don't know, a 30-second clip. That's all you need, really. You just gotta hit hit the notes right and make your point, get your coherent title on there. These are all things I'm trying to learn about and educate myself. I'm doing a lot of meditation, daily meditation, a lot of breathing. I'm taking care of myself. It's you'd have to watch Juan's video to see what I was talking about, but he was talking about people that is like trapped in the matrix and don't know how to get out and are pros and are excelling in being a slave to this matrix. He don't talk about the matrix personally. I talk about the matrix and stuff. But the matrix is just, the kind of the it's where stuff happens, You got your quadrants and stuff, and this is over here, and this over there, and this, and everything is all, with some uniformity and some, I guess, when things line up properly, you get some beautiful things. I'm looking at my face. My face keeps changing. I can't help my nose. This is the nose I got. And it's my face. I can't. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Tell me I did. I did. Oh man, once you get one of these, you gonna find parts of your back you didn't even know about, and I keep finding them too. Like I was working on my inside of my bicep right here, and it's from an old injury. Someone broke my freaking arm. Well, I felt something break. It wasn't a bone. It was like a ligament or something popped. But we were doing. I had just arm wrestled a guy, and then I arm wrestled another guy with the opposite arm, and then I arm wrestled the first guy with the same arm, and for some reason he's a lot taller than me. His arms were longer, and when we started, I was at like an uncomfortable angle from the get, and but I was, I had just beat him in the first place, so I didn't even say anything. But this time, I wasn't giving up, but something gave in my arm, and that was the first time I experienced something like that. I mean, I had already had a broken collarbone at that point. Oh, I also even had a broken leg at that point. I broke a fibula. There goes the prophecy, right? I chipped a molar too, somewhere in there. Chipped a tooth. I think I'm gonna get going. If I said anything that I didn't complete, just like put a timestamp and a comment, and I'll interact with it, and maybe give more clarity, and I don't want to leave anyone hanging. I mean, if you even interested in interacting, or even, because I'm talking to a phone. I'm just talking to this phone, and I'm not really getting any feedback but my own internal. It's kind of late for all this barking. It's already 1:14 a.m. Yeah, I gotta get this battery charged, like 17%. I don't know. See where things going. Tomorrow, I figure I still got like 80 or 90 bucks on this credit card, and I can use it tomorrow. Tomorrow's the due date, so I can use it tomorrow, and I can. The idea is to get some oil and a filter, and I'm gonna change the oil in my car. I'm thinking, it's like, is there anything I need? I don't too much need anything. I need to get rid of shit. I need to get all this extra weight off of me that ain't doing me any good, and it's the whole idea is I'm going through a culling. It's not really It's not. It's not a good word. But, it happens. I guess the least violent violent use of the word is when a plant is, a certain percentage of it is cut from the top of the plant. The plant, it doesn't die. Part of the plant dies, but it also triggers to the plant because the root's still alive under the soil. The plant, the above the ground, kind of dies and turns into this mush, and that makes it down into the roots. The roots automatically cull when it loses a portion of the top of the plant. The roots are like, oh, there's too much roots here, not enough plant, and so it literally culls its own roots. Excuse me. And then it reabsorbs this like slurry from the top of the plant, and once it has enough energy, it will come again. So I guess going through kind of like a default. What do you even call this? I'm not. I've been bankrupt. I've been known that, holding on for a miracle kind of thing. And I don't believe in the lottery or anything like that. I was thinking, um, you know, let God's will be done kind of thing, and not be attached, because me personally, I would be like, yeah, just give me like $500,000. No, I even cut it down. I was like, man, for the longest time, for the last 10 years, has it been 10 years since, no, I just really started getting into debt around 2010. So it's not even 10 years and I'm maxed. So it's interesting. I remember studying Joe Vitale stuff, and all his books and all of his material, everything he's talking about, he always talks about how, he was working, he had a job, he was doing all right, and then I guess that dried up, and eventually he moved into, he went into poverty, and he was living out of his car and stuff like that. He was homeless, and he what was that? It's basically he took an adversial. Is that a word? He took adversity and turned it into a blessing. And Napoleon Hill talks about that with for everything that's perceived bad. Paraphrasing, I don't. There's a seed of equal or greater benefit. Pretty much that. So it's just the whole idea, if something's going wrong in your life, you just want to be like, what's so good about this thing that's going wrong? What are the advantages? Everyone knows this. I mean, the worst horror stories in existence turn into like best-selling books and stuff. Look at Anne Frank. I don't even think she made it out of there alive, but everyone knows about her diary. Mm. Yeah, I better shut this down. Thanks for hearing my words. I really appreciate any kind of feedback, and this is me. This is how I am. This is what I look like. This is how I am when no one's looking. Because no one's looking, but the camera's spying, and I don't know who you are, and there's a certain bit of comfort in you. Taking a sneak peek into my just regular human existence, really. And I hope to get a little more specified, because then I can start putting titles and stuff. Like this one, probably be like. See, I don't know. But we'll get the full moon in there for a minute. For some reason, it doesn't look exactly circled to me. I don't know. It's pretty dang bright. Man, I was starting to get into, some current events, with this Epstein thing. Oh my goodness. So it turned. Oh yeah, I was talking about Chapo and stuff, but El Chapo hired just like 100 mercenaries, and this dude that was locked up in there, he's hooked up with intelligence. So it makes you kind of go, They keep saying he's hooked up with intelligence. What's that mean? What does that really mean? It means them mercenaries El Chapo hired. They beyond that shit. We're talking Mission Impossible. But we'll see how it develops. Still following along, Man, it's about the kids. I mean, yeah, they locked him up, but the damage is already done, and the whole idea is to stop any further suffering. And I'm not gonna enjoy the bashing and the hang that dude. No one enjoys that stuff. You gotta really lower your frequency vibration,